We're here with Glasgow boys head coach Mick Cropp after a 46-30 win over Harrisburg in the Glasgow Tournament championship game. And coach, just talk about how special it is for this class. Come away with 4 consecutive Glasgow Tournament titles. I know you kind of mentioned how Reed's never lost, and a lot of your seniors who started off on varsity as sophomores have never lost. That's really something to brag about considering the history of this program.
I think so. I think the tournament itself is something to brag about. I think anytime you can win any tournament multiple years straight, you're doing a pretty good job. But to win this tournament 4 years straight is quite an accomplishment. There's constantly Final Four contenders and state championship contenders and district winners coming back in this tournament. So it's always a very competitive tournament. It's early in the season, and yeah, it's quite an accomplishment.
And just talk about the play of your post players. Joel Monick came out and had a really strong start. Reed Littrell, I thought, had a big second half, and I really thought those two gave them fits down the post at just the right times when you need them to.
Yeah, they're awful tough for a lot of teams to contend with because there's 2 of them, and they do a really good job of posting up around the basket. They can finish around the basket, and then they get on the offensive boards very well. So they're awful hard to contend with down there. And then when you got guards that have the ability to stretch the floor and handle the basketball, it makes them even better.
And just talk about the first 4 games defensively. I mean, I've heard people saying this might be one of the best defensive teams they've seen here in a very long time. And it's something worth bragging about if you can hold a Steve Combs coached Harrisburg team to just 30 points in a game.
Well, I think these guys are seniors. They've been in the program for several years. I've been excited about them ever since they were freshmen. This class coming through, the senior class, they're not afraid to talk. They're not afraid to communicate with each other. They're not afraid to tell each other when they've done something wrong. And then you add the juniors in that are really athletic too, and then when you add Blake in, who's an athletic defender as well, you have a lot of recipes, for a good defensive team, because athleticism, ability to communicate, and willingness to work hard is a good place to start.
This ballgame was tied 10-10 at the end of the first quarter, but you all really came out strong there in the second quarter. I have you all down for 11-0 run that I thought really kind of put some distance and really separated you from Harrisburg. And I think after that point you held a double-digit lead for the rest of the game, so that turned out to be a pretty big point in the ball game.
Well, again, I think defensively we were very good. I didn't think we were terribly great offensively. It was just when you're holding your opponent to 2 points in a quarter, and I don't remember exactly what they had in the third quarter, but they didn't have a whole lot. And then you're able to just stretch the lead, and then it just it becomes kind of a rock rolling down the hill. You just keep on getting stops, and then come down and get a bucket, and then you may get a couple more stops and get another bucket, and then eventually you just have stretched the lead to where it's basically insurmountable.
And just talk about the atmosphere of this game. I know really it's hard to kind of follow up that girls game, but I thought the boys really came out. They wanted to make sure that they could finally get that sweep going for Glasgow, and I really thought we saw a big intensity out of those players.
I thought we actually were probably a little more intense on the semifinal game against New Franklin, but I don't really. I thought the guys did exactly what they needed to do. They got stops. They executed things pretty well on the offensive end for most of the night. And anytime you get Harrisburg and Glasgow together, it's going to be pretty good atmosphere. It was pretty good.
And everybody who's at the tournament this week kind of noticed a lot of your players. I don't know if all of them did, but most of them were sporting mohawks. Is that something just for a tournament, or are they going to keep that hairstyle until you all lose your first game if that happens?
I don't know. If they want to keep looking silly, I guess they can keep it as long as they want.